Welcome everybody out to this video. Today we're going to talk about how to implement zero tolerance. I want to explain a quick concept here on the board. There's a difference between punishment and respect. When we want to punish somebody versus respect them, these are two completely different mindsets, right? When we punish somebody, we want them to know that they did something wrong. We want them to have consequences. We want them to feel pain. We want them to really have a negative taste in their mouth. We want to control them and we want to lord over them. We don't live in this type of world in construction. We were taught this in high school, in elementary school, in society, this concept of punishment, but we don't work in that way. We work with respect. Whatever we do is because we respect the individual, we respect their time, we respect their money, we respect them as human beings, we respect others around them, and so that's why we do certain things. So when I talk about zero tolerance, I'm always talking about doing things out of respect. If we were to categorize these between punishment and respect, why do we have nice bathrooms? Is it because we want to punish people or respect them? It's because we respect them. Why do we have nice lunchrooms? It's because we want to punish them or respect them? It's because we respect them. Why do we have a safe job site and we don't tolerate bad safety? Is it because we want to punish people or is it because we respect them and their families? It's because we respect them and their families. Why do we keep things clean? And if it's not clean, we have crews stop and clean it up. Is it because we want to punish people or is it because we respect them? It's because we respect them. So everything we do comes from this concept of respect. If I told somebody, hey, go up to this worker, and if they didn't follow the rules, they already knew the consequences, they would go home and have to get the training, the resources, the equipment, the mentality, or whatever to come back and be safe, and we'll run them through orientation the next day. Nobody's going to go have that conversation with anybody if it doesn't match their identity. You as a superintendent or a PM, you have an identity, and this is who you feel you are. It's the parameters under which you see yourself performing, and it's the way you see your own character. You want to be kind to people, you want to have rapport with people, you want to run a good job site, you want respect. Your identity won't let you implement a zero tolerance system unless you understand it properly. So when I say send a worker home, immediately someone's identity says, oh, Jason wants me to punish them. I never said that. If you can then add to your identity that not only do I want respect, but I actually respect others. I actually see their family on the other end of them. I see their kids. I can imagine what it would be like if one of us had to call their daughter and explain why dad's not coming home. If you can wrap this level of respect for other people into your identity, and then you say, well, okay, Jason said that it's a really good idea if people aren't following the rules to have them go get the training, go to a safe environment, go get the right mindset, go get the right tools to go be safe. I'm sending them home. If you can understand that that's based out of absolute and utter respect for them, their family, their kids, and their life, then your identity will move to a spot where now you actually can have those conversations. But most superintendents, when I say zero tolerance, they're like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Why? Why do they say that? Because they want to be liked. They don't want to punish people. They want to be considered fair. They want to have good feelings. When we can move our identity to where we care more about people and their well-being and their life and their family and their kids than we do about being liked, then our identity aligns with this concept of respect. If you ever hear the concept of zero tolerance and you're like, I don't like that, it's because you haven't properly shaped the context around which you frame your identity. When people are working on a project site, they're in three categories typically. They're bought in and they'll do it, they're questionable, or they're not bought on. This is human nature. It doesn't mean that they're bad. It means that they might not be bought into your culture. Maybe another culture they're on the plus side. But it means that in every job, there's a third of the people that are not bought into your culture and your standards. So what do we have to do? This has to be a minimum pay to play level, meaning we cannot allow anything below that line. That's where the term zero tolerance comes from. And sometimes people say, you know, when I was working in the mines, when I was working at a microprocessing plant, or when I was in the military, I did the zero tolerance and they were around policing each other. Hey, policing each other goes back to punishment. I'm talking about respect. What I'm saying is that we respect the workers enough to not tolerate behavior down here. Your people will map all over this spectrum. When you incentivize them and you are like, hey, we're going to have a barbecue or we're going to have an award or whatever, then there's a couple of people that will move up, but you'll still have this 1 to 15% after incentives that will stay here. They have to understand that you mean business, not from a punishment standpoint, but from a consequences, from a respect standpoint. They have to know that you care and you're passionate enough about this, that they will move up or we're going to invite them to find some place where they're going to live a happier life. We're going to invite them to go work on a job or with a company where they can actually behave the way that they want to behave. But it's not here, and it's not today. This is the concept of zero tolerance. And once this is firm, then these folks will rise to the occasion, and some will select out. They'll be like, I'm out. On a 24-month job at 380 workers at the peak, implementing zero tolerance, the most I've ever had to send home to go to a safe place, to get the tools, to get the training, to get the equipment, to get the mindset, to get a break and come back through orientation, the most I've ever had to send home is 20. The more strict and the more firm and the more determined and the more confident you are, the fewer people will have to be sent home. Meaning if somebody's like, yeah, we kind of implement zero tolerance, you're going to have to go home. Well, you're probably okay. This number is going to get big if you're not firm. But if you're like, that's it, we're done. I love these people on this job enough to where I am going to make the hard decisions. No one will work on my job without safety glasses. No one will work on my job without hard hat. No one will work. And when I say it means that the super and the PM have ownership. They're like, this is my job. This is my decision, right? And you're like, we will be safe. We will have pre-test plans. We will do the right thing. We will have water. We will have clean bathrooms. And you're like, it's done. I've decided. And people see that you're confident. And the person that's the most confident on the job with kindness will win. I've stood in front of hundreds of workers and been like, this is how it's going to happen because I will send you home safely to your kids because I care. Immediately they know Jason means business. These people know that they're welcome somewhere else, and these people know that they'd better rise to the occasion or they will be invited. I'm not punishing them. They will be invited to work somewhere else. So in their mind, they're like, do I like working on this job? Do I like the bathrooms on this job? Do I like the lunchrooms on this job? Do I like the huddles on this job? Do I like the holiday barbecues that Jason does on this job? And if so, I can either go work down the street where they treat me like crap, or I can stay here and actually treat myself and others with respect. I'll stay here. You know what? I'm up here. I'm going to actually follow the rules. I'm going to wear my safety glasses. I'm going to wear my hard hat. I'm going to be at this meeting on time. I'm going to park where I'm supposed to. I'm not going to smoke in front of the customer over there. I'm going to smoke in the designated area because I want to be here. And that's why before treating the trades properly is a key part to this, because we don't want them to stay in an abusive environment. We want them to stay in a remarkable environment. This is the reality that we're dealing with. I personally, Jason Schroeder, will hold the line. If I go up to a worker and I'm like, I'm blah, 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 and I'm about to go talk to them and I see they don't have their safety glasses on, right? I got my safety glasses on. They don't have their safety glasses on. First and foremost, I've got 1 to 4 seconds before my brain tells me to not say anything. That's it. It's 1 to 4 seconds. In 4 seconds, your brain will say, it's not worth it. You don't want to make them mad. You don't want to be disliked. That'll ruin your mood. You can't do that. That's not fair. Are you punishing? Your brain will go into this survival fear mode in 4 seconds. So you got 4 seconds to be like, oh, I'm going to have a talk, and just start walking. You just go. And when you go, you're going with the determination. I'm going to go talk to them. Hey, how are you doing? Like, yeah, you've been through orientation before? Yep. You know about our safety glasses rule, right? Yeah, I just blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, okay. So in order for us to run a really great site, we have to hold the line with this. So I need you to go. I'm going to call your foreman. You're not in trouble, but we need you to get to a safe spot with the right tools and equipment. We need to get you back through orientation because we can't have you out here with safety glasses. And if I came over and I was like, hey, just put your safety glasses on, I don't care about you. And I do care about you. So we're going to fix this situation. Then they'd be like, well, come on, man. I just took them off. I forgot. And I'm like, hey, buddy, I love you. And I would say that. Maybe you wouldn't say that, but I'm like, I love you, but we got to do this. So let's just do this. Let's just dog off for the rest of the day. We'll get you back to orientation. Let's go. Come on. I'll give you a couple minutes to come down. That is a hard thing to do. But here's the difference. If I go over to a worker and I'm like, yeah, hey, just put your safety glasses on, and I walk away, I do not respect that person. I do not respect them. I know darn good and well that they will take those glasses off when I leave 30 minutes later, and that they're risk at getting their eyes messed up, their arm, whatever it is that we're talking about. I do not respect them. The other thing is, this could also be racist, discriminatory, classist behavior. Meaning, I'm the super. I've never walked on the job without my glasses, but this is just a worker. I get it. They're just a worker. They're probably too stupid to remember. So I'm just going to remind them and tell them again and again and again. What does that say? That says, yeah, I realize you're too stupid to remember to put your glasses on, or you're not management. You're just a craft worker, so you can't do it. Or you're from a different culture or race or something, so you can't do it. Or you don't speak my language, so you can't do it. Screw that. Everyone's equal. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care what language you speak. I don't care your educational background, we're all on equal footing, and we all have equal potential. Now, some of us are in different economic states, some of us speak different languages, some of us are in different roles, but we are all equal. We are all equally important. We all have equal potential. And if we actually believe that we're equal, and I, Jason Schroeder, have never walked on a job without my safety glasses, then this person can never walk on the job without their safety glasses too. And this person can never be anywhere without their hard hat too, because they're just as good as me. And if I think that they can't meet the rules, but I can, that means that I think less of them. And that really pisses me off. If we walk away from people in construction and let them do things that will keep them from coming home to their little girl, we do not respect them. So here's the system. Usually a lot of project sites like to do this. The way I would do it back in the day was, hey, we have the rules, we've been through orientation, we've communicated, I connect with the workers every day. It's no surprise. I see that, then they are going to go to a safe space. I'm not punishing them. I'm not mad. They're not in trouble. But if they're not following the rules, I need them to go to a safe space. Then they can come back the next day through orientation, go back through, get their sticker, confirm again, and then if they ever do it again, then they're permanently removed. That is the system. That is how I can run a job. Jason Schroeder, if you ever went through it on any of my jobs when I was running work, there was nobody without their glasses, nobody without their hard hat, nobody without their pre-test fine. Everybody was towing the line, and they were happy, and people loved it. And after a couple of weeks, they were like, I don't want to work anywhere but here, because it was clean, safe, organized, good barbecues, good lunchroom, good bathroom, talked to them every day, listened to them, respected their opinion, implemented what they asked for. I cared, but I didn't put up with anybody's crap. So a lot of times people will say, this is the system that I like. I'm going to go talk to them, and then I'll give them one warning. And the warning isn't like a warning for punishment. It's a warning for, hey, if you don't want to go home or to a safe spot, and if you don't want to do orientation again, or if you don't want to be at risk of being invited somewhere else, then you always have to have your safety glasses. There's no difference when you have clear glasses on and you're like looking up overhead and you're like, what is that? There's no difference. Don't take your glasses off. If you're going to clean them real quick, that's a different story. Nobody's ever sent anybody home for like cleaning their glasses. We have common sense here. But when you're like got your glasses over here on the lift and you're doing this thing and you're about to lose an eye, you didn't just forget. This is a habit and we're going to stop it today. So a lot of times people will be like, well, here's one warning. And then if you're found again, not caught in police, but found again, you will go home, come through orientation again. And then if it happens again, you're removed from the project. This system is absolutely fantastic if it's based off of respect, not punishment. So if I believe that workers are equal, if I believe that their family is important, then I will do that warning. I will send them to safety. I will orient them again, and I will permanently remove them from the job if they continue that pattern of behavior, because their families are counting on me, not them. And we have to understand this, me, to send them home safely. Yes, everybody has a part with safety. Yes, somebody should be responsible for their own safety. Yes, everybody's in charge of it. But the ultimate end of safety is the superintendent or the PM. Who's going to jail? I'm going to jail if this goes down and it's based off of negligence. It's my decision. Nobody comes out of that orientation unless they know the expectation. Nobody comes on this site unless they understand the rules. Nobody comes here and does these things unless they are playing by the rules. I have said, even if they don't agree with me, they, by virtue of their honor as a woman or a man, gave me their word in the orientation form that they would follow the rules. And when you give me your word, you better follow that commitment, because you are in my house. It is my responsibility. I have agreed to get you home safely to your family. And if you don't, I'm not mad, you're not in trouble, and I'm not punishing you. I will shape the consequences to get you to a safe spot if you are choosing not to work safely yourself. This also works with cleanliness. Here's my rule of thumb. If I go through the project site, and I usually have a glove on my left hand, I'll pick up some things. I'll pick up a banana peel, a Coke can. If I've got my left hand full, and before I can reach a trash can on site, I'm like, I'm going to have to stop and pick up a broom. That's too much for me. That means I'm going to stop. I'm going to go talk to the foreman. Hey, we need you to pause here. I want this whole place swept and cleaned up. And immediately they'll be like, well, I got laborers for that. I'm not going to stop my journeyman to go do that. I'm going to pull off this job. Like, you can't treat me like that. I'm like, hey, I need it clean, and we need to find ways to maintain it clean. And after that first initial reaction, if you have rapport with the trade partners, they'll start to do it. They'll start prevent it. You'll start seeing trash bags on the lifts. You'll start to see trash cans near where they're working. You'll start to see gondolas at the end of their cut stations. You'll start to see them thinking in a clean way. And once they're clean, production will increase exponentially. The other thing is with deliveries. If I'm ever on a postage stamp site. You log your delivery, it comes here on this time. And if your delivery comes and it's ahead of somebody else and we're about to disrespect another trade partner, I'm going to reroute that truck into a queuing location. I have zero tolerance for getting in somebody else's way. The other thing is for staging of materials. Hey, we said we're staging it here. I don't want to move that 6 or 7 times. We talked in the huddle about where it was going to go. I want it placed there immediately. So I don't tolerate any negativity when it comes to safety. I don't tolerate any negativity when it comes to cleanliness. I don't take any negativity when it comes to deliveries, and I don't take any negativity when it comes to where we stage things. We will make a plan together. I will listen to you as a vulnerable and confident superintendent, but we will follow through, and there are respectful consequences if we don't. This project will run stable. This concept of zero tolerance, I have templates on the elevateconstructionist.com website. You have them probably also in your company orientations, but find a way to not tolerate it. The success of your project is determined by the worst behavior the leader is willing to tolerate it. So it can all stop tomorrow if we stop tolerating it. I hope you've enjoyed this video, everybody. On we go.